Hi everyone, welcome to Team 2 presentation, a comprehensive analysis of NeighborCare Health School-Based Health Center, People, Process, and IT. NeighborCare Health is the largest healthcare provider in the Seattle area and Vashon Island. They provide primary care along with dental and behavioral services. NeighborCare is operated as a nonprofit organization catering to low-income communities. They focus on working with uninsured families, seniors on fixed income, immigrants, and people experiencing homelessness. They also have a school-based program, which will be the primary focus of this project. We will explore improvement opportunities to CRM systems and potential process improvement opportunities related to policy. Information regarding the current community communication technology and processes will be gathered from working professionals at NeighborCare. This will come from interviews from a registered nurse practitioner, healthcare coordinator, program manager, clinical applications manager, and data and business analytics manager. Next slide.
Now for the current state analysis, we'll start with the current system overview. So NeighborCare Health is using Epic for their primary CRM, ERP for patient scheduling, RingCentral for a texting app, and LogTag for tracking and maintaining the temperature for vaccines. I'll now pass it over to Summer to further explain the current system.
Thank you. So looking at the current system, specifically looking at the process of patient request flow in the school-based health center. So this is an as-is process flow that looks at the student, the healthcare coordinator, mental health counselors, and the advanced registered nurse practitioner when a student comes in and is requesting services. So some issues that we notice from this diagram is redundancy in asking questions. So both the providers and the HCC are asking the same questions to the student. And there's also a back and forth / middle person as the HCC with the student and providers. And this causes confusion with the student as well as additional work for the HCC. I'll now hand it off to Piyush.
Thank you, Summer. This is another process flow diagram that presents the process of resolution of IT concerns at NeighborCare Health. The most vital ones include the fact that NeighborCare Health's default flow processes assume that issues experienced by the users aren't new, so they're internally processed for a long period of time, and its IT team closes out tickets without further user input and gauging the effectiveness of the solution. Finally, it doesn't adequately document or update its internal documents, and it doesn't allow for users to submit feedback about the efficacy of the process for further improvements. I'll pass it back over to Thomas.
Thank you. So the as-is use case shows redundancy between the student patient and the healthcare coordinator, with additional work coordinating a signed form from the parent guardian. Once this process is done, finally the HCC, healthcare coordinator, can schedule the visit, and the patient can be seen by either the mental care provider or the ARNP. Summer's next.
Thank you, Tom. Now looking at the current system, specifically Ocean. So Ocean is a collective bargaining group that NeighborCare is a part of. Ocean is able to host Epic at a cheaper cost to the network of community-based healthcare centers that NeighborCare is a part of. NeighborCare is able to negotiate prices and granted special agreements through this collective bargaining group. The primary application utilized by the school-based healthcare clinic is the Epic application, as well as the training Epic application, which trains the users in Epic. Epic is an electronic health records information system, and this is what is used in the school-based health centers to schedule the appointments, chart on the students, bill the appropriate billing people, as well as data extraction. So now looking at the future state analysis. So first, coming back to the future system of the process patient request flow in the school-based health center. So this to-be process flow has a few improvements from the last time. So the first one is the implementation of an app to streamline requests with built-in questions so that the student is asked the 3 questions before the request is sent to the HCC. If the request is in person, then the process change here is having the HCC ask all 3 questions that were previously divided among providers. And then lastly, you can see from this that the healthcare coordinator becomes a funnel of requests once it is submitted from the student, whether it's from the app or in person, and they're able to divide it up into who it needs to go to next. Now I'm going to pass it off to Piyush.
Thank you once again, Summer. So the next presents the 2B process flows regarding the IT issues at NeighborCare Health. First, altering the default flow of processes to presume that the user's issues aren't new. It doesn't allow the resources to be wasted. Also, promoting efforts at NeighborCare Health's IT to keep tickets open and seek user feedback, adequately document, update their internal manuals for new problems and solutions, and facilitating a culminating process to obtain user feedback all enhance the processes of resolution of IT at NeighborCare Health. I'll pass it back over to Thomas.
Thank you. The 2B use case system shows MyChart integration with process flow improvement by eliminating redundancy. The patient can access MyChart, request a service, the system automatically forwards a document, a DocuSign to the parent or guardian if it's necessary for them to have approval. They sign it, they send it, then the HCC is able to schedule the visit, and then the patient can see either the mental care provider or the ARNP. Summer.
Thank you. So now looking at the future state system of Ocean and Epic. So through NeighborCare leveraging that collaborative bargaining group, Ocean, they could access extended Epic training such as Epic Classrooms, which provides more trainings for providers and HCCs and how to be more efficient and use different features from Epic, as well as Ella, which is extended resources on how to read charts, how to better chart. And we suggest that NeighborCare uses this. And I'm now going to hand it off to Amal.
Now for our mobile app recommendation, we're recommending that NeighborCare implements a mobile app with the following drop-downs: a home with an about us, as well as a login option and a list of services that NeighborCare Health provides. The purpose of this app would just be for students to be able to sign up for the necessary services. Now for the Ocean negotiation, we're recommending that NeighborCare implements a proxy consisting of two subsets: a pediatric/teen proxy, which permits a parent or guardian to communicate on their behalf, as well as an adult proxy, which is used for NeighborCare users that are above the age of 18. I'll now pass it off to Piyush to discuss feasibility and the risk assessment.
Thank you, Amal. The feasibility analysis allows us to gauge the various characteristics about NeighborCare Health and their needs to assess which recommendations may be possible. With regards to the economic analysis, the school-based system doesn't have a large budget, so they can't overhaul the system, and the IT doesn't have the capacity to build anything in-house. The major political stakeholders are NeighborCare Health as an organization, their school-based system, the students, and the other internal employees. With regards to legal and contractual issues, we must ensure that any future systems are compliant with HIPAA, FERPA, and COPA, since these are records of sensitive nature that deal with minors, and thus the data security and data management has to be on point. With regards to contractual requirements, we must ensure that every recommendation is on par with Epic and Ocean's contractual agreements with NeighborCare Health. And finally, with regards to the scheduling and the deployment of any systems recommendation, NeighborCare Health hopes that it happens in the months of June to September while the students are on break, but they're okay allowing certain processes to be enacted in other months as long as it doesn't cause disruption of services. Next slide, please. With regards to the current state risk assessment, the largest risk for the people is the user group who experiences medium risk due to the low user experience from their current module that doesn't allow them to facilitate student services. For processes, the regulations currently pose a medium risk because there's a potential for breach, but it's accounted for in their current systems and their resolution methods. And finally, the lack of efficiency poses a high IT risk, again, because the services aren't integrated and it forces a manual method to manage the information for student appointment administration. Next slide, please. For the future state risk assessment, we learned that the user satisfaction risk becomes low because of their ability to conduct the administrative task either through the MyChart by MyProxy or through the innovative mobile application. For processes, their regulatory and compliances increase because although we have these innovative services, that allows for more potential breaches. And finally, the interoperability also risk decreases because the integration of these innovative services. With regards to the future state assessment, there's new concerns introduced for budget, lack of negotiation schedule, which are inherent anytime a new systems initiative is introduced. Next slide.
So next, looking at the recommendations, our most feasible ones are the process recommendations, which is to refine the clinic and IT process flow. The other one is leveraging the additional training in EPIC through the OCEAN bargaining group. And then the systems recommendations of developing a custom model, which would require hiring additional IT to develop, maintain the service apps based on feasibility, as well as renegotiating OCEAN to gain access to those additional EPIC services. That's our presentation. Thank you.